As seen on Kaleidoscope the Series. Kaleidoscope the Series on ABC 23. It's a different look at our region, unique places you may not know exist, unique people sharing their amazing talents. There are good things happening in our area. Watch it all every Sunday on Kaleidoscope the Series on ABC 23.
In rural Pennsylvania, hunting rifles are certainly commonplace. But to a man living in north central Pennsylvania, his guns are anything but common. See, he builds them from scratch in his shop, tucked away in the land of endless mountains, as he puts it. They're not just any type of gun, and he custom makes them to fit his clients. Ron Luckenbill has been doing it for years now, having turned his hobby into a business. His clients can range anywhere from the blue-collar neighbor down the street to the Academy Award-winning actor who needs to use that special gun in a recent Hollywood film. Either way, he always is hard at work, working to create that special gun for the next client.
As a youngster, my father was the fix-it-all in the little village where I lived down in Luckenbill County, Pennsylvania. And I started making gun stocks there. A lot of us were poor farm boys, and at that time there were a lot of military surplus guns, 03 Springfields, 98 Mausers, etc., available at a fairly reasonable price. So a lot of us had to use those because we couldn't afford nicer rifles at that time. And I quickly got the idea, well, I didn't like the military stock, so I started building my own gun stocks, and other people liked what I did, and the next thing I knew, I was restocking a lot of military guns. I put a stint in the Army, came out of the Army, and subsequently enlisted in the state police in 1966. Shortly, by 1972 in the state police, I was a firearms instructor, and I've always had this great interest in guns. I always loved guns. I always loved to shoot, reload, so forth like this. I started my business just thinking it was going to be a way to pay for my hobby, and pretty soon my business turned into a full-time job. The process actually for building a muzzle-loading rifle usually starts with the time period they want. Do they want a very early gun, a golden age gun, or a later period percussion style gun? Then we start exploring what you're going to do with the gun. You're going to shoot target with it, or you're going to hunt with it. And I will take them to the other side of my shop and allow them to look over the various and sundry stripes and types of wood that's available, the grades of wood that's available, and I'll show them what it's going to look like when it's finished, and they can pick that out. Some people will like cherry or walnut in their guns. Occasionally we have some also made out of ash, but that's a rarity. Many times I'll have them try on guns that are very similar to what I already think that they're going to need and see how that will fit them, and that way I can best serve my client. Usually the physical building of the rifle, once I have all the parts together and everything like this, it's about 3 weeks from beginning cutting into the wood to the final finishing and polishing and the fun of calling the guy and say, hey, your gun's done, and then comes the fun. I get to handle a lot of originals. I therefore have a feel for what an original should look like, feel like, and be like. I've restored many originals, which allowed me to communicate with the original maker, because when I take his work apart, he's talking to me. He tells me what he's doing, how he did it, what he's done, and I can learn so much from that. I have built rifles for Joe Schmo, the blue-collar worker, which is a lot of it.
We've got Mr. Flintlock George Sutton lined up, who's going to attempt to carve a pumpkin with his round ball. Here's a quick clip.
I've also built rifles for George Sutton, who is better known as Mr. Flintlock and shoots on the Outdoor Channel. I had the fortune a year or so ago to be contacted to build 2 guns for Leonardo DiCaprio to be used in the Revenant movie, which was a big thrill. My wife took the initial phone call from the secretary in the prop department, and our initial thought was that this is a scam. He told me what he needed, when he needed it, what his time frame was, and it was about 5 weeks. He needed 2 guns in British Columbia, exactly the same. In the event that one gun should be damaged in filming or something like this, they had one to go back on. We had some real good historical discussions with the prop manager, and he picked out a gun that I had on my site, which was actually a Bucks County rifle. So he decided that they were going to go with that particular rifle, and could I build them another one and have it in up to British Columbia within about a 3-week period. I was able to do so. We had a little bit of difficulty getting them across the border, but they solved that problem with their own broker, and we got the guns up and they were used in the film, but only one of them had been cut back. So the purpose for cutting that rifle back, I still never can understand. I often joke that they got two things historically correct in the film. There was a man named Hugh Glass and there was a bear. I'm 73 and I have enough orders on the books now to carry me till I'm 75. I've retired once and I'm really hoping to retire again. I don't think I'll ever stop building long rifles, but I think I am cutting back very much on taking additional orders for the future. If a project really excites me, I will probably take it.